have this here. Sorry. Alright, so continuing from the previous one, I was saying about how you can also basically call other variables uh, on other variables, like connect different variables. So where I stopped from, I was talking about the if statement, right? So I mentioned that the if statement, you have to put if, and then if first, the condition, and then this, or if you don't want, I think this is optional because I'm looking at here. uh, I use Java and all these other languages a lot. I don't use Python a lot. So yeah, I think this is optional because here, no, actually I don't think it's optional. I think you have to actually put it. Yeah, you actually have to put it. You follow it with this. You follow it with this. You follow it with this, right? So you say if, and then you condition, and then you follow it with this, right? With the instruction, right? So, like for example here, I'll say if, right? Profit, profit is greater than um, 0, right? Then, now, very importantly, I want you to take note of this. I'm actually going to draw on the screen. It's going to be hard for me to erase because this tool from this thing is kind of hard to use. But oh, actually you have a clear. Oh, okay, good. But this is one thing that stopped. I tried learning Python at first, and I actually I stopped because of this main part of this main concept here, right? This part here, right? um, Python, right? You have to basically, like, you don't have with other programming languages to be able to show that, hey, I've stopped saying something here. Like, you notice that in my previous videos I made a mistake where I did this thing over here, right? In other programming languages, you stop a statement by just basically, you have different marks that tell you that you've stopped a statement. So for example, an if statement here, usually in other programming languages you have brackets here, and you have symbols here that tell the computer that, oh, okay, stop reading this from here, right? But then with Python, oh, let me use this. With Python, the problem with Python is that Python. I mean, I don't know if it's a problem, but I think most beginners will find it easier to comprehend. Python really pays attention to this part here, this part here, right? These these like spaces, how you jump things, right? So, because like if like for example I've done this if statement, right? What the computer is going to expect me to do, this instruction that I was talking about here, this instruction is going to have to come here. It's going to have to come here, right? If I put this instruction, let's say this is an instruction, I'm just going to call it I so that I don't have to type this whole word instruction. If I put the I here, right, the PC won't read it as a new line, right? So very, like, very important to take note is that Python, how you space your words or your instructions, right, is very very important, right? Because it affects how the computer is able to read it. So yeah, it took me like a long while for me to, I actually had to do this online course for me to actually grasp this concept. And yeah, basically that, right? So basically always pay attention to how you're spacing these things. But otherwise, clear all. Yeah, otherwise, let me continue. If profit, as I mentioned here, if condition and then instruction, right? So if profit is greater than 0. Oh, I'm still drawing. No. Okay. So if profit, now I have this red mark. Okay, sorry, just give me a second. It's my first time using this thing. Draw, clear all, and then draw. Alright. So I wrote that if profit is greater than 0, then did we make profit would be equal to no. Oh no, sorry, if profit is less than 0. So I hope you remember these things, right? If profit is less than 0, uh, these things. I don't know if you don't remember. Just for a quick recap, this whatever is on this side is always greater than whatever is on this side. So even if it's facing this, right? I always like to think of this side as bigger than this side. That's one way I remember it. But once you code a lot, you just get used to it. but yeah, whatever's on this side is usually bigger than whatever's on this side. So even if you, so this is the same as, so for example, do I have space here? Yeah. So let's say t is greater than x is the same as x is less than t, right? Yeah, so just a quick recap on that. But yeah, so if profit is less than 0, then did we make a profit will be equal to none. So we stop that here, right? Now notice I want to show you like how much this impacts, right? The whole spacing thing, right? Now you see that this is now here, right? I'm gonna tell it to print print space ends here, right? When I run this, what? Oh, profit. What is profit? Profit is sale minus cost. Oh, because it's less than 0. Sorry. If it's greater than 0. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, see? Now, you see how it makes a difference, right? When the first time I ran it, because it didn't meet this condition, right? It ignored it. So it even ignored this, right? But then when I put it here, even if this condition is not met, you see that, let me just show you that since this is different. You see that you still print this. This thing's taking a bit of a while. But yeah, wait, let me just wait for it to. Alright, so it's finished printing. Yeah, so you see that now it's actually taken this instruction. So very importantly, always make sure how you space these things as it affects your code. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. If the profit is equal to so because here we're gonna print did we make profit. So if the profit is equal is greater than 0, then it would be this. Let's see. Let's just call this no value, right? Let's just call this no value, so we can actually really see the change here. Else, does else also come in? Wait, let me just check this. If else, oh, okay. Okay, okay. All right. So else, does else also? Yeah, sorry. Else, did we make profit is equal to no, right? So I hope this makes sense. By the way, let me just give a recap of it. Uh, what we're doing here is similar to the whole calculator thing. You have your value here and your cost here, and you've given them names, and we have this thing in the same way we've given these numbers names. We've given this text value, this character, this string characters. We've given them the value that you know that this is what we're calling them to make profit, right? And we've said that profit is equal to sale minus cost, right? So now this is an if condition statement. This if and else condition statement is now saying that if profit is greater than 0, then yes, you made a profit. Otherwise, if it's less than 0, right, which is else is otherwise, right? If this doesn't happen, as I mentioned here, kind of how your calculator says that, hey, if this happens, if this doesn't happen, then it's an error, right? So it's the same thing here. Else, if this doesn't happen, then I'm changing this value here. By the way, this doesn't only have to be this. You can put so many different instructions here, but this is just an example of one instruction. This video is about to come to an end. So yeah, so once we print this, you're going to see that since profit is greater than, yes, see, do you make profit? But then when I change the value of cost to, let's say, 7,000, and I run this, you see that cost will now be greater than profit, and then it will print no. So yeah, Yeah, basically that.